If you want your home to feel decluttered now and not in another 6 months, then today we're going to be talking about the ways in which I kept going wrong, and I think you might be too. If you're looking at your decluttering journey and you keep thinking that I have to start with the big stuff, the big pieces of furniture, the room that's designated for all of the clutter, then you're probably going about this all wrong, because those are the places that are often the hardest, that take us the longest, and they're not going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. If you're ready, today we're going to be doing a real live walk through the places that I feel are the most important to start decluttering if you're still feeling overwhelmed and it's not with the hard stuff. We're going to start with visual clutter that's in our main living areas. So where do you spend the majority of your time and energy? That's where we're starting today. So as you can see behind me, this is my living room, my dining room, our sunroom / entry room. This is where we spend the majority of our life. And that's where I'm going to start looking for visual clutter. Anything that has found a place on any flat surface, on the couches, that shouldn't be there. I'm going to start with the easy wins. I remember years ago thinking that I had to start with all of the big stuff like furniture or sentimental pieces and start at the top of the mountain instead of working my way slowly up. And really what I was missing was that those quick wins will help me in the future to deal with the harder stuff when the time comes. And so instead of doing what I did, which was struggle, 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 I want you to start today with easy wins. So go to a room today and look at the flat surfaces that you have around you. What are the things that are just left out? Do you need a little bin in your corner to have a place to put those little things that keep getting left out when you don't have the energy to put them away at night? And just do a really quick sweep. For me, what I like to do at night is do a 5-minute reset. So you know what? That doesn't cure all of the problems, right? Often there are still a few things left out. But what I've learned is that progress is better than perfection. I'm never going to be perfect. My house will never look perfect, but can it look a little bit better? Absolutely. And that's where these tiny resets of our flat surfaces is the place where we need to start, because a lot of us know where these things go. They just haven't been put back there. And as we're moving really quick, doing this visual declutter of our flat surfaces, I want you to remember that one of the big reasons that for a lot of us, including myself, we get overwhelmed in our house. We just want to burn it all down and start over. We think that's the only solution, is because of visual clutter, because our brain can never settle and relax. And I know I do have ADHD, so that overwhelm can be a lot quicker and a lot sooner than other people. But what I will say for all of us is that when the decision fatigue starts hitting in and we're at the end of the day and we're feeling really stressed, coming into a home that has a lot of visual clutter around does not allow us to relax and be calm and chill when our brain really needs that time to shut off. And so that's why we're starting with number 1 as visual clutter. I'm going to say this because I need to hear it. Let me know if you relate, but we've got to start getting rid of these half-used, mostly expired products that we've been using on our face, in our hair. It's getting a little ridiculous, guys, at least at my house. And it really comes down to that I feel so guilty about getting rid of these products when I've tried them. And we try to fit these things into our life because we've spent good money on them, right? And it's not working, is it? It's just not working. And as much as we want to say, let's finish the product off, if you're so unhappy that you are avoiding your morning routine or you're avoiding taking a shower because you know that these things are just not going to work for you, then today, what are we going to do? We're going to go and we're going to declutter the expired products, the makeup that's cracked and awful, the stuff that we've tried on our lips, and absolutely, no ma'am, you are not going to look like that. All of these things that we've been hanging on to. Mainly, I found that I hang on to them because 1, I forget they're there. Let's be honest, that's probably number 1. And 2, I envision a time when I could possibly use it, or maybe there was even that one time I did use it, and girl's gonna stick with that for the rest of my life looping, and I'm not gonna get rid of this product, even though I know I don't like it. After decluttering so many skin products over the past several years, I can honestly say that I've finally learned that I need to be more intentional about finding a easy and quick routine for my really sensitive skin. And so while I want to thank today's sponsor, which is Merit, I will say that I've been using this for a while now, and that's why I'm so comfortable recommending Merit to any and all of my friends. In my little Merit bag, I keep all of my faves, and of course, right after washing my face, I will start off with my favorite, which is my Great Skin Serum. It's great skin prep for my sensitive skin, but also works for everybody's skin type. And honestly, it's so smooth and soft that you leave feeling glowy and not greasy. I'm definitely somebody who has to have SPF every single day. So I got the Uniform Tinted Mineral. It has SPF 45. I got it in Dune Sandstone. I love how smooth it makes my skin feel. This is their minimalist stick. I use a linen, and I will mainly focus on my under eyes because that's where I get really dark. But anywhere that I'll have some pimples, it's safe on skin if you have acne or also sensitive skin. And look, it is so simple and easy just to quickly blend it in. And the last little finishing touch that I like to use is the Flush Balm in Fox, and you just throw it on your cheeks. You can also just throw it on your lips. It's super creamy on your lips. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this in, and I'm gonna be done. Check out my Merit faves and get exclusive discounts. Using my link, you can get up to 15% off. Plus, you're gonna get your free makeup bag with your first order. We're finding routines that are working for us, that are simplified and faster so that we can get out the door in the morning. The other piece that I don't want us to forget, mostly in our bathroom, is that these things that are expired or never touched or used are also gonna be in the medicine cabinet. So I pulled out my medicine bin today, and it's something that I will do probably monthly or every other month. Whenever the medicine bin starts to feel really crowded and I can't find what I need, I know it's time to go through those things. Check your labels today. Get rid of the nasal spray that you haven't touched in a year. Get rid of the medicine that made you feel yucky last time that you used it. There's so many things that we hang on to, especially when it comes to medicine, that we know we're not going to use again, but it feels weird and it feels wrong to get rid of them. Today, I'm giving you grace and telling you, please go do it. All right, we're in my entryway, and we're going to go into my kitchen also, because the second thing that I want you to look for are things that are out, but they are not used daily. So the first thing I'm looking at here are the helmet and our dog leash. They don't need to be here in my entryway. And here's why. The helmet was out here when it was a lot warmer outside, and my daughter was using it every single day. So it was much easier for it to be in zone 1 or the most important place right next to the door. But now that it's winter and we haven't been out in about a month, the helmet doesn't need to be there. The dog leash, we're not using every single day. Often my dogs just go play in the backyard. So this prime place, the most important place that is out visually, should only be the things that really have a place in your daily life. The questioning of, is this the perfect home for this item? How often or when is the last time I've used this item? And do I even really need this item? Or has it just been there for so long that we almost glaze over it? Do you guys ever do that, where you see certain things out and you're so used to seeing them out that it doesn't even process anymore until you start to sit down and think about it? That's a me problem maybe. But let me know. And I will say that when I started to question the things that I constantly was leaving out, man, that got rid of about 80% of the visual clutter in my home, because yes, I didn't actually need them in that season of my life. And that's something that is going to keep coming up over and over again as you're decluttering. I want you to think about, in this season of my life, maybe pick just like 2 to 3 months right now. Do I need this out? Is this really helping me? And it even comes down to things like in my kitchen, the toaster. Do I really need to have the toaster out? Am I somebody who has toast every single day, or I'm toasting my bagel every single day? Yeah, we might go through a season of that, or our kids are. But if you're not in that season right now, what I've done is we just take it out when my daughter wants to use it and we put it right back away. I don't eat toast basically ever, so it's very rarely used. But you know what is used about every single night is my air fryer. And so yes, that has a place on my countertop, and it's worth the space. It's worth my brain power. It's worth seeing it because it's something that I'm going to use all the time. So think about, do I really need this? Is this the right home? How often am I using it? All right, the next place that I want you to look for in your home as you're decluttering is duplicates. And really, when we think about duplicates, think about water bottles, scissors, tape, throw pillows, blankets, purses. Duplicates are all over our house, right? It was one of my biggest problems. And I remember going through all the water bottles and realizing that we had so many. And there's tons of conversations that I've had with other moms about water bottles. And yes, one of our biggest problems is that our kids will lose the water bottles at school. They won't be coming back. But what I've realized is that, yes, my daughter needs a few more than I do, okay? But when she had a whole cabinet full of her own water bottles, I stopped caring when they came home because I always knew there was going to be 5 more. And so I wasn't paying attention to them. It wasn't something my daughter was paying attention to. But now that she has a lot fewer, they come home more often, which is insane. Now, it's not perfect, 100% not perfect, but it does mean that we are more conscious about when they're gone. So we're always paying attention. And I think that goes for a lot of our duplicates. We get all of these scarves and all of these purses, and then we don't use them. And we keep going back to the same, maybe 1 or 2, because they're our favorites, right? They're the things that we really enjoy. And yet, we're not using all these extra, and we feel weird about getting rid of them. I want you to identify today why it feels weird or uncomfortable to get rid of these things. Is it just because they've been around for so long? Did someone give them to you? Or is it just that you've maybe grown an identity as I'm somebody who has tons of scarves, or I have the identity of having tons of purses? It's really hard to break out of that identity. And that's where clothing was really hard for me to get rid of, because I loved when people complimented me on my clothing. But what I realized is that not only was I always uncomfortable getting dressed, it was really difficult. I went to work being exhausted, but when I had a few pieces that I really loved, I still got compliments on them anyway. And yet I was able to get dressed in the morning a lot faster, a lot easier, and still feel really confident in what I was putting on. All right, I'm going to show you the crazy mess that's behind me because there is a reason for my madness. And it goes into this next idea that I want you to declutter the annoying stuff, the things that either you keep touching, you get frustrated when you have to clean it. It is so annoying. And recently we have been conquering something that I found really annoying. And that was the storage that was in our bathroom, extra bathroom / laundry / pantry. The person that put all these shelvings together, it was a crazy mess. And I get it. They were just trying to get as much storage as humanly possible. And they did. But the storage was hard to reach. It didn't function for our needs as a family. And so when we moved into this house, I knew that that was going to be something that we were going to have to tackle eventually. And it has come to this week. So through tears and chaos, we have been reorganizing, taking everything out, patching holes, fixing this room, because we knew that the annoying part of this room was that it did not fit the storage that we needed. So what are you noticing in your house is really annoying? It doesn't need to be as big as what we're doing in here, but I bet you have storage bins that you can never remember what's in them. If you have places in your home that you've tried to organize and it just isn't working, try something totally different. The annoying things are not going to stop being annoying just because we try to ignore them. Does that make sense? If you are enjoying this, real quick, come and join us here on Minimal Ease. And of course, throw a heart image down below if you have already been joining us here on this crazy journey. But annoying things are one of the biggest things that I realized gave me a lot of peace once I finally decluttered them. In our old home, I had these beautiful shelves and I had tons and tons of decor on them that I had just gotten from thrift stores, TJ Maxx, all the junk stores, right? And I didn't care about any of it. And so it was very annoying to clean it because I had no feeling towards it. And it is amazingly different how it feels to clean your house when you like everything that you are having to take care of. And so today I want you to identify a few things that are just plain annoying and get them out of your house. To be able to feel like you wake up and your home is manageable, Not perfect, just manageable. And you have a place for your stuff means that you need to start identifying things that just never have a home. Those things that I think a lot of us have that we keep moving around from place to place, might be little pieces of furniture, might be blankets, might be decor, and we keep moving them around. They never have a true home. I want you to think about why that is today. Do they just not fit in your home? There is no real corner, wall space, closet that they fit comfortably in. Are you keeping them out of guilt? Is that why you feel like you can't get rid of them? That floating clutter is one of those things that for so many years, I didn't realize was a problem. Because you know what? Whenever I saw it, I just moved it out of my visual space, right? And it was gone. So it was all good. I didn't need to get rid of it. But what you eventually find as you're decluttering is that that stuff, yes, can be moved and out of that space, but it's not really out of your mind. It's in that Rolodex in our brain somewhere, and it's gonna keep reappearing. We're gonna keep seeing it and being irritated, and we keep moving it. And so the floating clutter that we cannot find a place for today, whether you like it or not, needs to find somewhere else to be. One of the biggest things that I noticed that I was doing this with was my plants. And I'm a big plant person. I don't have any fake plants. They're all real. So they all need a place to be in the sun and to be seen. And yet there were so many plants in my life that I just kept moving around from place to place, never really finding a home for them. And I really love plants. And so yes, it was hard to get rid of them and to let them go. But you know what? When I finally did and they were out, it was a relief, because what I realized is that all that floating clutter, all these plants that I have, I thought was bringing me so much joy. And so I felt bad about getting rid of them. But the ones that were moving around all the time weren't bringing me joy. They were just causing me a headache and more decision fatigue that I really didn't need. So even if you like this floating clutter and you enjoy looking at it, if you have not been able to find a place for it now, you're not going to find a place for it in the future. And so find a new home for it, somebody else who's really going to enjoy it. And just like my plants, it makes me feel a lot better when I know that somebody else is going to be able to love and enjoy what I just can't handle. So those are the things that I want you looking for today. I do not want you to look for sentimental items. I don't want you to go through all of your one day, maybe projects that I know we all have, okay? We don't need to be looking through that stuff today because it's gonna slow us down. We don't want our brains to be trained that decluttering is difficult, especially before we really get the ball going, okay? We wanna start with stuff that is a lot easier, or that we can talk to ourselves and understand why we really can't have it. Those are the places that I want us to start today. All right, friends, I hope you have enjoyed this really quick run through. I have several things that I need to be decluttering and organizing today. And so thanks for being there with me. I appreciate it. And if you have enjoyed this, then I know you're gonna love this one right here. And I wish you guys all the very best.